When did you realize you raised your kid wrong? My 10-year-old son begged me to take him to this fancy restaurant downtown for his birthday dinner. Not McDonald's, not Chuck E. Cheese, but this upscale place that requires reservations. I was confused but agreed. We were halfway through our meal when an elderly homeless man approached our table. He was thin, wearing a torn coat, and spoke quietly. "Excuse me, sir, I'm really sorry to bother you, but I haven't eaten in 2 days. Could you spare anything? Even just some bread?" Before I could respond, Jake looked up and said firmly, "No, go away. We're trying to eat." My heart stopped. The man's face crumpled, and he shuffled away toward another table. I stared at my son in shock. "Jake, what was that? Why were you so rude to him?" Jake looked confused by my reaction. "That's what you always do, Dad. Remember at the gas station last week? And outside the grocery store? You always tell them to go away and leave us alone." The memory hit me like a truck. He was right. Every time homeless people approached us, I'd brush them off with "not today" or "sorry, we can't help." I thought I was protecting Jake from uncomfortable situations, but he'd been watching, learning. "That man was hungry, buddy," I said quietly. "But you said they're just going to buy drugs or alcohol with money. You said they choose to be homeless." Jake repeated my exact words back to me, and I wanted to disappear. I watched the elderly man get turned away from 3 more tables before sitting alone in the corner, looking defeated. The server brought him a glass of water, probably out of pity. "Jake, I need to tell you something important. I was wrong. Very wrong. I explained how people become homeless. Job loss, medical bills, mental illness, bad luck. How hunger is real regardless of someone's situation. How everyone deserves basic human dignity." Jake listened intently, then asked, "So we should have helped him?" "Yes, we should have. Can we still help him now?" I called our server over and pointed to the man in the corner. "We'd like to pay for whatever he wants to eat. A full meal," Jake added. "And can you tell him we're sorry I was mean to him? Tell him a little boy is learning to be better." When the server approached the man with our message, his reaction broke me. He started crying, not from hunger, but from being treated like a human being after probably countless rejections that day. He came over to thank us. "Son," he said to Jake, "it takes a big person to admit when they're wrong. You're going to grow up to be a good man." After he left with a full stomach and a to-go bag, Jake was quiet for a long time. "Dad, what else did I learn wrong from watching you?" That question haunted me. Over the following weeks, I started noticing how Jake mimicked my behavior. My road rage, my impatience with cashiers, my dismissive comments about people who looked different from us. I realized I'd been unconsciously teaching him that kindness was conditional, that some people didn't deserve basic respect. Every eye roll, every frustrated sigh, every casual judgment had been absorbed by his developing mind. We started volunteering at a soup kitchen together. Jake learned that homeless people have names, stories, dreams. He discovered that Maria used to be a teacher before her medical bankruptcy, that Robert was a veteran struggling with PTSD, that Sarah was a teenager who aged out of foster care. The transformation in both of us was profound. Jake started noticing when kids at school were excluded or bullied. He'd invite the quiet kids to sit with him at lunch, remembering how good it felt to make someone's day better. Last month, when we encountered another homeless person outside a store, Jake immediately asked, "Can we buy him lunch, Dad?" But the real lesson came when Jake told me, "I want to be the kind of person who helps people, not the kind who looks away, even when no one's watching." That's when I realized the most important thing I could teach my child wasn't math or manners, it was compassion. And the only way to teach it was to live it every single day. Kids don't do what we say, they do what we do. They're always watching, always learning, always becoming who we show them to be.